how do you get there? It's not even a technique, is it? How would you walk people through the process of actually tapping into that feel? It's not even meditation, so to speak.
Exactly. It's a good point.
Mhm.
Um, the funny thing is, it's simpler than anything really there is, because there's nothing that needs to be done, in fact. But the difficulty about that is we've been so trained by our society to actually be always focusing on being the doer, that it becomes more complicated because people want to be the one doing it. And they're so used to being the person, the identity, the doer, the one at the steering wheel, the captain of the ship, that people have the tendency to then try to do something from the mind. But in fact, it could be equated with, the state of being could be equated with deep dreamless sleep, which is, there's this aware consciousness that is perceiving everything. Like my hand is moving, I can see the screen in front of me, I can hear my own voice, the echo, I can also feel myself breathing. But all these things are perceived by something that is aware of them. So you could split them up, basically saying, I am that which is perceiving, and all those things, including my own body, my own thoughts, my own emotions, all of those things are objects that are perceived by the witnessing, the witness. And in that sense, the only thing really that's a prerequisite to resting in the place of our true being is to let go of all movement. In other words, to just not grab onto anything that's not here. That's the really good anchor point, the now, which means we're not going to be thinking about tomorrow or the past, or we're not bringing in concepts that we've learned. You're going to reduce it to just being here and breathing. In most cases, for most people, we would close our eyes and you just be breathing a nice few deep breaths, hence also breathing techniques like Wim Hof. And when you get enough oxygen, the body relaxes enough, because it's not in a mode of threat. Because when there's a deprivation of oxygen, hypoxic, like they did with masks and things, we go into a hypoxic state and it breeds anxiety because the body already feels it's lacking oxygen. So by a few deep breaths, we actually go still. And when you go still, you focus on something that's here. So the breathing is one thing that's here. The sensation is a very good one. So for example, if you close your eyes, and even if you were to do the exercise with me now, you close your eyes, and everybody that's joined in can do the same thing. You close your eyes because it's the biggest distractor. And you focus your inner eye, which is your attention. You're kind of looking without your eyes, your physical eyes, you're looking at the tip of your nose. And you'll notice that the tip of your nose, you can feel it. There's some tingling. There's like a sensation in the tip of your nose. And you can move the attention towards your lips. The lips are very sensitive for many reasons, but one of them is speaking all day. But we move the lips a lot, we taste with it, we eat with it. So there's a lot of reasons we have a lot of sensation in the lips. And you'll feel that the entire body in that way when you go through it, the cheeks, the throat, the shoulders, the body is scintillating with a kind of sensation. I call it sensation because it's like a tingling, a very fine pins and needles type of electricity, you could say, like a very fine, just sensating. And it's actually really peaceful. And you can be guaranteed that that sensation plus your breathing is now. And when you're kind of come down to this quiet place of being, you can open your eyes if you want and hold on to the space of being, or keep them closed, whichever you prefer. You'll find that when you're holding on to the sensation in your face or your lips or your nose or the whole body, your hands are also very sensitive in that sense, and you're aware that you're here, I would ask a very simple question to myself, in this case to you as well, and that is, do you know that you are? Like, am I? Am I? And the answer is yes, I am. And I don't know what I am, but I am. I'm feeling the breathing. I'm feeling the sensation in the body. I'm looking at you on the screen. I'm aware of my own voice. And I know that I am. I mean, there's no doubt that I am. If somebody asks me, do you think, the Russians are the bad guy or the Americans are the bad guy, or somebody asks, do you think, COVID, it was a real virus or was not a real virus, or whatever we think, it's something outside of ourselves. But when and you can say, I don't know, it might be, I'm not quite sure whether, there was an actual virus or whether there's, who is the bad guy or the good guy, or if they're all bad guys or they're, all just lost. But when we ask that question, it's absolutely certain that I am. And when you rest in this state of being, this I amness, this beingness, this what some people call presence, awareness, consciousness, and at some point you might want to distinguish, but at this point, I think for this conversation, it equates to say that they're all the same for a moment. Awareness, stillness, presence, beingness. Holding to this place of being and not abstracting ourselves into mind and thought and future, we actually are really grounded in this now, here. And what happens is you'll start feeling this unrest because there's something that wants to keep moving towards the outer world. There's something that keeps pressing us out there. But when you hold on to the state of being, which is the true meaning of meditation, when you're being in that presence, I call it quantum resting because of meditation being misused or there's so many forms of meditation that some of them are visualizations and some of them are thought processes. But real meditation to me would be you reduce to absolutely everything that's only here. Don't, for a minute or for 10 minutes, don't grab any past, any future, any thoughts, any concepts. Just be with what truly is here. Your breathing, the sensation in the body, and then I know that I am. I am. Am I? Am I that? Am I? Yes, I am. I know that I am. And then you stay there. And as you stay there, what happens is your attention, the awareness, is looking at awareness. So I'm aware, and I'm aware that I am aware, and I'm just remain aware that I'm aware. And as I remain aware that I'm being here, what is actually happening is your attention travels back up to reality. So everything from reality, from the original state of being, from the quantum field, is coming into existence like a projection. It's all streaming down, and that's the direction of energy coming into existence. And that's what all manifestation is really coming from this like river streaming. But when you turn your attention around on I am, you kind of look at your original state of being. So you're looking back up the cone towards the original state of being, towards the essence of the universe. And this is, it feels like you're having this resistance because you're being still, you're absolutely doing nothing. And yet it's the hardest thing in the world. And that's really the only thing people have to do. Remain aware that I am aware, no thought, no worries about tomorrow. For just a few minutes, you leave it. And you can pick it up later and, go on with worrying about your finances or something. But for now, don't worry about the bombs. Don't worry about the wars. Just be and know yourself to be. And then remaining in that state of being, which is actually quite difficult, especially the more intellectual people are, you're actually traveling back up the stream towards the source. And this is really the whole process. It's just dropping everything that's not now and remaining as the I am.